Yo, welcome back to the GM Podcast. I'm Adriel Miller.
I'm Gavin Bullock.
And today we're going to be doing a little draft breakdown of what we saw, giving you guys some winners and losers. So we can get it kicked off real quick. Who's your biggest winner of this draft?
Well, I want to start off with saying before the draft, I thought it would be an obvious Spurs.
Yes, absolutely. Just the fact that they had
Before
two
the
top
draft,
10.
like they have two lotteries.
Yeah.
And they can go, and you have Wemby, so it's an easy pair.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of combinations that can work with Wemby
Yeah.
in the top 8. But I love what they did at 4. Trade,
too.
I don't agree with the trade, but I'm gonna get to my winner. I'm not gonna lie, and I hate to say this as a Celtics fan, the Lakers.
Okay, I agree.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so that's...
Okay.
Yeah,
He's gonna come right in. Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
He's gonna come right in, produce. There's no development. He's 23 years old. He's right away. He's gonna be able to produce and help right away. He's about 6'7", wing. He hits shots.
Big guy, can
He
guard.
hits shots.
Yo, it's just... how did he fall?
I don't know.
I mean, he literally
It's the whole old thing. That's the only thing I can think.
And
He's 23 years old.
That's the only thing, because he got better with every year of college. So it confuses me how a guy like that fell so far.
Yeah.
And for JJ Redick, who a lot of people were critical of, it's crazy that's his first pick as a part of that front office.
That's a good piece.
So good job, Lakers. Obviously they picked Bronny today. So
And I'm tired. Congrats to Bronny, but I'm tired of the whole. Bro, if his dad wasn't his dad is LeBron James.
yeah, let's accept it.
We've seen nepotism before.
Yeah, it's not new.
It's not new. We've seen it in this league.
Yeah,
Many leagues. We've seen it in life.
and let's be real here. For the Los Angeles Lakers, your number one priority is keeping LeBron James, the arguable GOAT, happy. You're trying to keep this guy happy.
Yeah.
So why would
He's about to sign a 3-year now. He's gonna sign a 3-year.
So now he's gonna sign with you because he's with his son. Like,
that's a good pick.
yeah, good pick. Like, at the second round, especially in this draft, you don't
At 55.
At 55, if you thought you were gonna get Nikola Jokic, you were probably wrong.
At 55.
Not saying it's impossible,
Whoever you didn't draft, you can sign.
bro. Like, Justin Edwards went undrafted.
Yeah.
Like it's just ridiculous that people thought, or people are hating on this pick.
Yeah.
But
of course, it is the obvious that if a regular human without LeBron James Jr. as their name put up 4 or 5 points a game at USC on a bad USC team as a 6'2" guard, of course they would not get drafted.
yeah,
But his name is LeBron James
Exactly.
Jr.
It's
So
not-
what are we talking about?
yeah,
But I'm gonna just leave that there. We can go on and go ahead to the losers of the draft.
yeah.
You can start off with your loser.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the Spurs, and obviously that was probably gonna be yours. But the Spurs and 4, Stephon Castle would have been my pick as well. So props to them on that pick.
That was a great pick.
I wouldn't have picked anybody else. I love Stephon Castle as
That
a
was
prospect.
a great pick.
But for you guys, and they obviously don't understand what they are as a franchise right now. They still have Jeremy Sohan. They still have Devin Vassell.
Keldon Johnson.
They still have Keldon Johnson. This isn't a horrible roster.
No, it's not.
For you to give up that pick for years down the line,
A 2030?
a 2030 pick, what are we thinking?
What?
You're picking. You drafted the most offensively gifted player in this class, and you gave him up
For 7th grade.
for King Baycott.
For King Baycott.
for the best 7th grader in the nation. Like, it makes zero sense to me why you would give up a guy like that. And for Minnesota, props to you guys, because, I mean, 2030, like, Minnesota's trying to win now as well.
Yeah.
So that was a one-sided trade if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
And obviously there was other losers. Like, the one I really wanted to touch on was Houston taking Reed Shepard, who in my opinion isn't a high-ceiling guy.
Well, my problem with that pick is you have Van Vliet, you have Jalen Green, and then you have, I think it's Amin.
Yeah.
It's one of the Thompsons ones.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to start. When was the last time the number, there might be one, but like a number 3 overall pick didn't start?
I don't get it.
Because he's not going to start Van Vliet, right?
No.
Or am I tripping?
No. Because Van Vliet is
paid.
As
He's
paid, but Houston is just, and we can go ahead and cover this because we're going to go over all the picks anyway.
Yeah.
Houston is just at a state of mediocrity.
Yeah.
Like 1 through 5 down, they don't have a star. They don't even have an all-star right now.
Yeah.
And Jalen Green, maybe he ascends. I do like where he's going. He's going to be a great player for a long time. Alperen Sengun, he just tore his knee up. So it's like, when is he going to come back? I felt like if I was a Houston Rockets fan, you take the best player available. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Reed Shepherd, in my opinion, was not that.
the best player.
Was not
you
that.
could make an argument that Dalton Connect would have been better.
I think that.
Yeah.
And Donovan Clingan was also there.
By the way, I think Reed Shepherd's going to be really good. I think people are dragging. They're dragging like this whole buzz. I think he's going to be a really good because he can guard. He shoots the ball well.
He's going to be a great player.
He's going to be a great player.
He knows how to play basketball.
I just don't like the fit.
No.
Second of all, so I didn't even get to mine. My fault. My loser is between the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay, I was going to touch on that too.
The reason I say the Oklahoma City Thunder and not the Spurs, because the Spurs at least hit on one of their 2 picks, but the Spurs have, I mean not the Spurs, the OKC Thunder, they have so much draft capital. I think it's time to be aggressive, whether it's in a trade for a bigger, a higher level player, or moving up in this draft. They could have easily put a package together and got Clingan to move
Absolutely.
up. The problem with Giddey playing with Shea was he couldn't play off the ball and he couldn't shoot. They drafted a guy who can't shoot.
They drafted Josh Giddey.
They drafted Josh Giddey. So my thing is, why?
Why? And I would like to elaborate on that as well. It's like, as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, we've seen Sam Presti do some great things over the years. So it's like, okay, this is your first miss, so I'm going to give you like a strike one. But for you to draft a guy who's injured, first off, who cannot shoot the ball in a league where that is the most important thing, it's not a good move because we are in win now mode. That should be the mentality. I don't know why.
For what y'all did this year, that process has been sped up.
That has to be the mentality. It can't be. We're still young and getting better.
I think the same thing with the Spurs. The Spurs were 14th or 15th in the 14th.
They're closer than they think.
They're in win now mode after you saw what Wemby was on restricted minutes. It's like, okay, we're gonna pair a team that Wemby can win with. We're not wasting the first 4 years of his career.
I completely agree. Because
then you end up in an Embiid situation, and then I don't know.
I mean, hella LeBron situation.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what they surrounded LeBron with his first 4 years, and he had to go.
Yeah.
So for the Spurs to do that, and for those picks to not even be in his first deal, it doesn't make sense in my opinion.
Another pick that I'm interested to see, I like it, but I'm interested to see how it does, is Jared McCain to the 76ers. I think he could be what maybe they wanted Buddy Hield to be.
Yeah.
Because Buddy Hield had a lot of DMPs. He's a shot maker. That's going to translate. If he hits shots, it's going to translate. We were talking about that with Parker today, at Parker Hickory Ridge, in the locker room today, giving him advice. Like, if you hit shots, that's the most important skill in basketball.
Literally.
Work on
putting the ball in the basket.
Work on your jumper.
Yeah.
That's literally the most important skill in basketball. And like, people get paid just to hit shots. Like, literally just hit shots. He's going to, if he can give them 2 to 3 threes a game in a playoff game, Maxey and B go off, and they get maybe a piece like a Paul George or something this offseason.
My problem with that pick was, and I love Jared McCain. I think he's a great player.
But you could have got Don
Connect was right there.
Yeah, you could have got Don Connect.
And that's going to be a lot of teams. Like, I think from Nikola Topic on, actually, that could have been Dalton Connect picks. And obviously he could have went higher, but just for me, those are all picks that Dalton Connect would have been a better fit in. So, but I'm going to ask you, what did you feel about the first pick, Zachary Ricochet? Like, how did you feel about that?
I think, and I don't know how true this, well, I think Alex Sarr was the best player in this draft. I want to start off by saying
So that being said, I think the Hawks, they're a loser in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate Zachary. It's just, I don't know how the number 1 overall pick, like the number 1 overall pick is getting like Harrison Barnes comparisons.
This and like, you know what's crazy as well? This is the least hype by far
Draft.
that I've ever seen. Not even draft from a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. Like
It's not close.
you didn't even know this guy was going number 1 until last week.
2 weeks ago, it was Alex Sarr's number 1. Unless I'm.
I mean, there's
seeing
been
stuff.
I've seen Donovan Clingan at 1,
Yeah.
but for them to draft a guy who can just shoot right now, whose shot creating ability, he is the prototype for what NBA teams want nowadays. But for him to only be able to shoot the ball, for him not to be able to create his own shot,
Yeah.
he has defensive potential, but he's not strong enough right now.
How do you feel about Edie at 9
Edie at 9
to the Grizzlies?
I liked it. I liked it because the Grizzlies are another team that are kind of in win now
You think
mode.
he'd be better than Steven Adams? Because that's probably the role he's stepping into.
That is probably the role he's stepping into. I don't know. I mean, Steven Adams is a great player.
Yeah, it's going to look different.
So it's going to look different. And if Edie reaches his potential, then the sky's the limit for him. And that's why I think it's a good pick, because you already have Desmond Bain, you have Jaren Jackson.
can
And
play
Jaren
the
Jackson
four
can
now.
space the floor, exactly. And he's going to be able to do that, and he's still going to be able to take it to the rim. So
And I don't want to judge. There's a lot of these, like, France players, like, the number 1 pick might end up being really good. But a lot of these France players, obviously, I'm not as educated on because I'm a big college basketball guy. That's where I watch most of these guys. I can watch highlights, but that only tells me so much. But I don't know why the Hornets at 6 didn't go Clingan.
the Hornets,
The guy that they got, they could have traded back and got.
I mean, the Hornets are just proving day by day why they have been the least successful franchise in any of the 4 major sports that I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it is what it is at this point. Like, you have to just,
No, but I think their front office people, they probably just don't watch basketball.
because, and this is the thing about that too. This is a guy who didn't average that many points wherever he was at in France. So for them to think that they can groom this guy into being that, because all these Frenchmen, I'm gonna be real, other than Alex Sarr, are purely based off potential. For
Yeah.
the Charlotte Hornets to believe that they can groom this guy into an all-star or a superstar, they haven't developed anybody.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball was the 3rd overall pick. Brandon Miller was the 2nd pick. Those are the only 2 guys that look good. The only guy they developed, who was also a first-round pick, was Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
And Miles Bridges isn't even an all-star.
Yeah.
So let's not act like they have developed any player that they've drafted in the first round that's not a top pick. A top
bro.
pick.
I don't understand the Hornets.
So
I thought Clingan was the obvious pick there. Another player, and this is probably you if you want to talk more, but this is the last thing we can touch on is I think he could end up being the best player out of this draft for sure. But Montes Buzelis,
Chicago won that. They're one of the winners of this draft.
he's gonna be nice.
6'11" he was the first overall projected pick last year.
Yeah,
And I think it
he's
should have
good.
stayed like that. I still love, I mean, honestly,
I can make a case he should have gone number 1. I mean, he's
yeah,
good.
he's good.
6'11", moving like a
and this, like,
He can
Zachary Ricochet
facilitate.
is the same. That's why I'm
Zachary
confused.
is like 3-and-D. I don't know.
He is easily just,
But Zachary,
he has the ball on the string.
and that's back to what I was saying earlier.
They're the same player.
Yeah, which is Ricochet or whatever his name
Yeah.
is. he can
We don't know.
he can shoot like better, and shooting is so valuable. Last thing I want to touch on. My fault. Last thing.
No, we're not done yet. We
Okay.
got a lot to talk about.
Rob Dillingham,
Okay.
Minnesota. Please play him. I've seen too many scores, elite level scores in this league.
The Amani Bates.
Cam Thomas,
Cam
Imani
Thomas.
Bates. Shout out to Nigel. Cam Thomas could average 25 in this league easily
I agree.
if just given opportunity. Efficient 25, like not just shot check, like an efficient 25. And the thing is, they keep talking about Rob defensively, but he just went to a team where you can hide him defensively.
Because you got Rudy Gobert in that.
Because
paint.
you have Rudy Gobert, and you have Anthony Edwards, and you have Jaden McDaniels, and you Karl Anthony Towns did good on Jokic. He's a good defender. You have Nickeil Alexander-Walker that can come off the bench. Conley's not a bad defender. So you can hide Rob against, the worst offensive player.
Even with that, he's going to a team who had the best defense, so that defensive culture will be instilled in him. And this isn't a guy who's not athletic or not
quick,
tall enough.
Yeah.
He can still move.
Yeah.
So
just make him hit shots.
I don't even think he'll be.
It's not like
the
Luka where it's
worst
going to be blow-bys.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be the worst defender in the league. But like for me, Minnesota, this was the best trade that I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
For a team that's trying to win now, for them to give up future picks and be wise like that and play Dallas, when they played Dallas, the main deficiency was there was nobody that could score other than Ant and Cat, and Ant and Cat couldn't score. For them to get a spark plug, even if he does come off the bench, which he probably will, that's the perfect pick for them. And like I was telling you,
my player comp from the jump has been Lou Williams.
Yeah.
And it could be a better Lou Williams.
And hell, if the Minnesota Timberwolves, and maybe not for Rob, because for Rob, I feel like if he went to the Spurs, he could have really hit superstar potential. But, But for the Minnesota Timberwolves,
this is great.
If Rob is Lou Will, you're cooking. Like, you're cooking with gas. Because now you got someone to bring off the bench. And then even Mike Conley, as a veteran point guard, could teach him how to play that position. So if that happens, you're set for the future. Then all you have to worry about is paying all these people. But as soon as Rudy Gobert's contract is up, you know how I feel about him. He's 30-ounce bounce.
Mike Conley would be gone, and Rudy, I hate to say it, you can replace bigs in this league.
No, you can replace him.
The guys that are irreplaceable are young. Rob, Anthony Edwards, and Jaden McDaniels. Those are the three. Even Cat, I think you can trade him for another all-star piece that'll fit with Anthony Edwards. Especially
if this year is what every player has, like, that doesn't perform, has that year where it's like, okay, this is the year if you don't perform like you're.
And
this is Cat's year.
Yeah, Cat has to perform in the playoffs as well. Like the whole playoffs, not just first round and second. But man, I think I'm excited. I just hope. And I think I've seen a lot of trades and moves by Minnesota that makes me think, okay, if you made that trade, I don't think you're gonna not play him. Yeah. So if you just give him 25, 20, 30 minutes in a playoff game, he will get you buckets. Yeah. Like, that's a given with Rob. You're getting buckets.
You're gonna get some buckets.
You're gonna get buckets.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think it's just a height thing, because I think we can easily say, and I know I hate the what ifs, but like, literally, it's just size with him. Yeah. Because if he was 6'5", he would be the number one pick
easily. He puts that hole in the basket. There's nothing else to say about it. Yeah. Okay, so what did you feel about Ron Holland at 5 to the Pistons?
I like Ron Holland. I've always liked Ron Holland.
Yeah, I'm a guy. Yeah.
My thing is, the biggest thing in this NBA draft also is where you go. So I thought Collier could have been a really good player. Yeah. But where did Collier go? The Jazz?
Yeah. I think that was a good fit.
It's okay, but if Sexton or like someone don't get up out of there, yeah, then he's just not. It's really big on where you go. Like, I think if Collier would have went to the right place, he would have been fine. Not saying he can't have a great career. Yeah. But I just think going to Detroit is just hard to.
They literally drafted Ron Holland last year. They got Asar Thompson last year. Yeah, it's the same player.
And then you had,
I definitely didn't love that pick. And obviously you have Jalen Duren, so that wouldn't have been a place I would have wanted to see Donovan Clean go.
Like, what is the shooting going to look like if you have?
Dalton Connect would have been the pick right there. He can shoot. He can shoot the basketball. Yeah, pick him.
Yeah,
pick him.
Like, what? My thing is with Ron Holland. So let's say you have Ron Holland, Amen Thompson, and Jalen Duren. I'd probably run a 2-3 zone if I'm playing the Pistons.
Literally.
Like, the Miami Heat would 40-piece them.
Bro, it's bad. And they're not, and once again, just like the Hornets, they're showing why they've been at the bottom of the league for so long, and it's not looking up. And for them, too, Cade is in a position where he's a great player. You have to surround this guy with stuff like that. Like, this isn't.
I don't want Cade's career to be like, we just never know.
We never know like that.
I don't want it to be
I don't want it, bro. If it's like that, bro, I'm just going to be. Because he's so good.
Cade is nice.
He's so good, and we'll never know. If this is how it continues. But let's talk about the Donovan Clean pick for the Trailblazers. What do you feel about that?
So what's the deal with Ayton? That's the thing for me.
I love Clingan. You love Clingan.
Yeah.
We know Ayton's there. You know Ayton's there.
Get rid of Ayton.
Yeah, you can. I think you can get some picks for Ayton at least or something.
Yeah, I think. But I think they should have done that.
Was bad though.
No. Ayton wasn't bad, but you also have Rob Williams, do you not? Like, someone has to go.
Look, bro.
You have 3 centers who can't shoot.
I would have took that. I would have just realized that this was a bad draft and traded out of that one. And then
If you want to keep it, okay, yeah.
you know how much of a Bub Carrington fan I was from Pittsburgh. You trade him with your 14th pick. Guy who was a bucket in the ACC last year.
Yeah.
So for Portland, they're also a loser for me. Because
Even with Portland's in a situation where they have so much, like you said, like players that are not on elite NBA level, but also they're not bad. So it's like, what do we draft?
they're just too mid.
Yeah,
That's the worst place to be in.
it's the worst. Because you have Simons and it's just
you have so many like okay guards.
okay. Like, do I play this rookie when you should be playing the rookie to see if he gets better than him the whole time?
Yeah.
But yeah,
The Jazz, I thought, won this draft
The Jazz
as well. They were big winners in this. Not as much as on Collier, but Collier was a top 20 skill set. So for them to get him as late as they did,
I mean, let's not forget he was the number 1 player in the country in
Yeah.
high school. Like,
Yeah.
he's not a bum.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
And he put up. I mean, the only thing that made him not as high draft stock, his team did bad, and he wasn't efficient, and he had a turnover
Absolutely.
problem.
And then
There's ways to work around those things.
they got Flipowski. And the thing about Flipowski, obviously he's a great player in my opinion, who can shoot the ball, and he fits this league perfectly. He's kind of a replacement for Lauri Markkanen. And if you were to trade Lauri Markkanen, you could get even more picks and build your future out. So Utah Jazz, I think they're in a good position in their rebuild.
For sure, and I think worst.
Cody Williams as well, by the way.
That's what I was about to get to. Worst case scenario, they go 1 for 3 on these picks. Like, they definitely hit on one player in this draft.
Absolutely.
They definitely hit on one player.
I
And that's a great
completely agree.
position to be in.
Yeah. Devin Carter, we can touch on that very quick. Devin Carter to the Kings.
Yeah.
It's just another short guard for them. I don't know what it is with them.
Yeah.
I guess they knew they were going to replace Davion Mitchell though, because he just got traded. Yeah, but yeah, really, I just want to touch on 2 more. Khalil Ware to the Miami Heat, 7-footer out of Indiana, who was also ranked high last year. I don't really get it for the Heat because they also could have got Dalton Knecht.
Yeah.
And
I really wanted
are we going to move Bam to the 4 now when he doesn't want to shoot jump shots?
Yeah, I don't know. Because Dalton Knecht is literally, I feel like, personally, a Miami Heat type of player. Like, oh, he's a 4-year player, we'll draft him. Like they did Jaime Jaquez last year.
Absolutely.
I think you put Knecht with Knecht, Jaquez, Bam, Jimmy, Rozier.
Yeah.
The Heat might be the second best team in the East next year.
And people forget about the Heat because it's like they didn't, bro. The Heat are.
I didn't even say hero.
Literally, like they're deep.
And Duncan Robinson.
They're deep. They're absolutely deep. But last pick we could touch on that I think is important. Tristan Da Silva out of Colorado. I love Tristan Da Silva, and I love that for the Orlando Magic because for them to be as young of a team, for Paolo ascending, Franz Wagner to be ascending, for them to pick Tristan Da Silva, who's 6'9", can dribble the ball, needs to work on his outside shooting a little bit, which is the only problem I have with this pick because obviously they don't have that much shooting, but that was a top 15 talent in my opinion.
Right.
So for them to get him, it's kind of they're building to beat y'all, to beat Boston, because all of these wings are going to have to guard each other eventually, but eventually they will also have to get a shooter. Like Orlando's shooting right now is piss poor.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I mean, that's the name of the game. Like, the Boston Celtics were the best 3-point shooting team in the league.
Yeah.
The Warriors were the best 3-point shooting team in the league.
And once again, Orlando will be able to guard everything, but will they be able to put that hole in the basket?
You have to be elite 3-point shooting team and elite defensive team. And Boston was the best at both of those categories. We could switch 1 through 5, and we could shoot the ball better than anybody in the league. It's the recipe for success in this league. 3 is more than 2.
Absolutely.
And that's why bro. I'm really excited to see the Timberwolves.
Oh my gosh!
Like in the playoffs, I'm excited to see.
Obviously,
because I'm telling you, and we can pull this clip back up. Rob is gonna have a game in the playoffs. You remember when Reeves was first coming out in the Lakers and he was winning them games? He was just dropping 16 off the bench for the Lakers. Like when he was and they thought it was like a fraud at first because like it was like, but like he was really
He's
doing
like
that series against the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a series next year in the playoffs where they realize like Conley or Nickeil Alexander-Walker is not giving them buckets, and Rob is just gonna.
And it's not gonna be 16 either.
No, Rob could give you 25,
30.
in a like.
I mean, just us. We've seen it firsthand. Like, bro, he's dirty. Like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be exciting to see.
Yeah, it's buckets.
Yeah,
It's
so
just buckets.
yeah, I'm rooting on him. Rooting on the Timberwolves at this point.
I'm rooting for Rob Wayne.
Yeah,
I'm excited
absolutely.
to see that.
I mean, a guy from North Carolina, you like in your class, you have to.
That you.
We've officially hit Unk status, by the way, because there's some guys younger than us in this draft.
Yeah,
that's crazy to say.
Yeah,
but once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.